Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into Sun Tzu's Art of War today.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, we've got excerpts from the book itself, and we'll be pulling from the introduction as well.
Nice.
We're going to try to distill some of that ancient military wisdom, see
Bet.
how it applies today, you know?
Right.
First off, Sun Tzu, was he a real person?
Well,
Or just like a legend?
that's the big question, right?
Yeah.
The intro dives into this whole debate, looks at all these historical records.
Okay.
The main source they used is Sima Qian, a historian from way back, about 100 BC.
Wow.
And he believed Sun Tzu was totally real, like a general who served King Ho Lu of Wu.
Okay, so a real deal military guy.
Seems that way, according to him. But then you've got texts like, Wu Yu Chen Chu.
Try saying that 3 times fast.
Haha, right. And this text, it kind of embellishes things, adds a bit of, legendary flavor.
Makes it more exciting.
Exactly. So it's almost like his image grew over time, became like larger than life.
Right.
And some sources even say he might have been more of a philosopher, like a wise sage, not just a general.
So almost like what's that word?
Enigma.
Yeah, a historical enigma.
Total.
And get this, Sun Tzu might have lived around the same time as Confucius?
That's wild. Imagine those two, like, bumping into each other.
Right. What conversations they would have had.
Even if they never actually met, just being in the same era. It's fascinating to think about.
Totally. So, real general or not, Sun Tzu knew how to make an impact.
Oh, for sure.
The book tells this story about him and the king's concubines.
Ooh, yes. Classic Sun Tzu move right there.
Have you heard this one?
Absolutely. It perfectly shows his dedication to, like, discipline and strategy.
Okay, so the story goes, the king, he's kind of doubtful of Sun Tzu's skills at first, right?
Right.
So he challenges him.
Makes sense.
Show me what you got, basically. And Sun Tzu's response, let me train your concubines.
Bold move.
Talk about confidence. He's basically saying, I can turn anyone into a soldier.
Exactly. He knew discipline was key. No matter who you're dealing with, that's the foundation.
So picture this. The king's up in his pavilion watching this whole thing unfold.
Probably thinking, what's this guy up to?
Right. But Sun Tzu, he's dead serious. Starts drilling these women.
No messing around.
But they're not taking it seriously, Giggling, probably.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So Sun Tzu makes a drastic decision, orders the execution of the 2 concubines in charge.
Whoa. Yeah, that escalated quickly.
The king freaks out, sends messages begging Sun Tzu to stop.
Understandably.
But Sun Tzu, he doesn't budge. He's like, nope, rules are rules.
War is serious business.
Exactly. No exceptions, not even for the king's favorites.
It's a powerful statement about leadership.
For sure.
Putting strategy and discipline above everything else.
What happened next?
Well, the other concubines, they saw what happened, right? No more giggling. They snapped to attention, followed every command perfectly.
Wow. So Sun Tzu proved his point. Discipline matters.
Big time. And that whole story sets the stage for the whole book, really.
It's all about strategy, being clever, understanding what makes people tick.
The psychology of war.
Right. And there's that famous quote, all warfare is based on deception.
Love that one. It's about outsmarting your opponent, keeping them guessing.
And hitting them where they least expect it.
Exactly. Sun Tzu also talks about the 7 considerations.
Considerations?
Yeah, like factors to analyze. Things that help you predict if you'll win or lose.
Oh, interesting. Like a checklist for warfare?
Kind of. So he talks about the moral law, which is all about the relationship between a ruler and the people.
Okay, so a united front is important.
Huge. Like, a motivated population is a powerful thing.
Makes sense.
And this makes me think about leadership in general. It's not just for war, right?
Yeah.
Like, any good leader needs to inspire, motivate, bring people together.
Totally.
That's key for any goal, not just winning battles.
So what else is on this considerations list?
Well, Sun Tzu talks about having a skilled general, obviously.
Makes sense.
Knowing the terrain, timing things right.
Right.
Having a disciplined army, rewarding good work. It's like a whole blueprint for success.
Wow. And it talks about speed, right?
Oh, definitely. He's all about decisive action. No wasting time, no letting supplies run low.
Get in, get the job done, get out.
Exactly. And remember the concubine story?
Yeah.
That was all about speed, too. Sun Tzu didn't hesitate, made the tough call, and it worked.
Right. It created a more disciplined force in the end.
Exactly. It shows how he put his principles into practice.
Okay, I gotta ask, what's your favorite quote from the book?
Tough one. But maybe attack him where he is unprepared. Appear where you are not expected.
Ooh, that's good. It's all about surprise, keeping your opponent on their toes.
Totally. And Sun Tzu, he's full of these, like, mind-bending statements.
Really? Like what?
Well, there's one. Simulated disorder postulates perfect discipline. Simulated fear postulates courage. Simulated weakness postulates strength.
Whoa, hold on. That's a lot to unpack.
It's like a paradox, right? But he's talking about psychological warfare.
Okay, so appearing weak or messed up can actually be a good thing?
Exactly. You make the enemy underestimate you, then bam, you strike when they're not ready.
It's like a mind game on a massive scale.
Precisely. And then there are whole chapters dedicated to terrain, like the actual landscape of a battle.
So knowing the lay of the land is important too.
Huge. Sun Tzu believed you could use it to your advantage.
Oh, interesting.
He even talks about specific signs to watch for. Like if birds suddenly fly up, it could mean there's an ambush hidden there.
Wow, I never would have thought of that.
And dust clouds can reveal how the enemy is moving. He's a keen observer, that's for sure.
So it's all about paying attention to the details.
Absolutely. Every little thing can give you valuable information. But of course, Sun Tzu also warns about the things that can trip a general up.
Okay, like what?
He calls them the 5 dangerous faults, and he uses some vivid imagery to describe them.
Oh,
Like, he compares recklessness to a mad bull charging into battle, just heading for destruction.
yikes. Not a good look.
And then there's this story about a cowardly general. He always kept a boat ready, just in case he needed to escape.
Oh, man. That's got to be bad for morale.
Totally. But there are also more subtle dangers, like caring too much about your soldiers.
Wait, caring too much.
Yeah, it sounds weird, right? But he's saying that compassion, while good, can sometimes cloud your judgment.
Okay, so you can't let your emotions get in the way of making tough decisions.
Exactly. And then, of course, there's all this stuff about spies.
Oh, espionage.
Sun Tzu was all about that. Different types of spies, how to use them, how valuable their information is.
I bet that stuff is super relevant today, even outside of war.
Oh, absolutely. It's all about information, right? The more you know about your opponent, the better.
Like in business deals or even like everyday life.
Totally. It's all connected. So yeah, even though the art of war is, ancient,
Yeah.
so much of it still applies today. It's mind-blowing.
It makes you wonder how these principles would work in modern conflicts.
Right. And not just war, but like in business, politics, even personal stuff.
Totally. It's like a timeless guide to strategy and understanding people.
Exactly. It really makes you think. So out of everything we've talked about so far, what's standing out to you? What do you find most interesting or useful? One thing that really hits home for me is that whole know yourself, know your enemy thing.
Yeah, Sun Tzu was big on that, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah. He even said, like, if you know both, you don't have to worry about 100 battles.
Wow, 100 battles. That's serious.
Right. And then he goes on, if you only know yourself, every victory comes with a defeat.
So even if you win, you still kind of lose?
In a way, yeah, because you don't fully understand what you're up against.
Makes sense.
And then, of course, the worst case, if you know either yourself nor the enemy, you'll lose every single time.
Ouch. So basically, knowledge is power.
Big time. And that whole moral law idea we talked about earlier.
Yeah, the ruler and the people being in sync.
Right. It's not just about that, though. It's bigger. It's about leadership in general.
Oh, okay. How so?
It's about inspiring your team, motivating them, creating a shared purpose.
Right, like getting everyone on the same page.
Exactly. Building trust and loyalty, that kind of thing.
Which is important in any field, really.
Absolutely. And then there's that whole thing about planning and preparation.
Yeah, Sun Tzu seemed really into that.
Oh, he was all about calculating your moves, anticipating problems, being ready for anything.
So being proactive, not reactive.
Exactly. And remember that bit about not using the same tactics that won you a victory before?
Yeah, I think so.
It's because what works once might not work again. You got to be flexible, adapt to the situation.
Right, right.
He also talks about picking your battles. Sometimes retreating is the smartest move.
Even if it feels like you're giving up.
Well, sometimes, yeah. Knowing when to fight and when to walk away is huge.
There's this line that stuck with me. The greatest victory is that which requires no battle.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. It's like the best way to win is to avoid fighting altogether.
Like a master chess player checkmating their opponent without losing any pieces.
Exactly. And speaking of strategy, Sun Tzu, he was really into the psychological side of things, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah, he was all about playing mind games.
Absolutely. He understood that war is as much a mental battle as a physical one.
Like messing with the enemy's morale, making them doubt themselves.
Exactly. Remember that thing about simulated disorder and simulated weakness?
Yeah, that whole appearing vulnerable thing.
It's all about making the enemy think they have the upper hand, when really you're setting a trap.
So it's a mind game, basically.
Totally. And if you can get in the enemy's head, make them question their own strength.
They start making mistakes.
Exactly. It's incredible how much of the art of war is about understanding people.
Yeah, like human psychology 101.
Right. Because in the end, war is a human thing. It's all about motivations, weaknesses, perceptions.
And Sun Tzu even talks about managing your own troops, right? Keeping them motivated.
Oh yeah, he stresses treating your soldiers with respect, giving them a sense of purpose.
And being consistent with discipline.
Exactly. He knew a well-led army is a strong army.
And those are principles that apply to like any kind of leadership.
Totally. In business, in relationships, everywhere.
Okay, we've talked about a lot, but there's one thing I'm still kind of grappling with.
Oh, what's that?
Sun Tzu's always talking about speed, right? being decisive, not hesitating.
Yeah, that's a big theme.
But he also talks a lot about planning, being careful, thinking things through.
Right, so how do those two ideas work together?
Exactly. They seem kind of contradictory.
That's a really good point. It is kind of a puzzle, isn't it? On one hand, seize the moment.
But on the other hand, think before you act.
Right. So which is it?
Maybe it depends on the situation.
Yeah, maybe. Like Sun Tzu's world was different from ours, right? Battles were probably a lot faster paced back then.
So speed was crucial just to survive.
Exactly. But even today, there are times when you got to act fast.
Like emergencies and stuff.
Right. But that doesn't mean throwing planning out the window.
So it's not about choosing one or the other.
More like finding the right balance.
Be prepared to act quickly when you need to, but also take the time to plan things out.
Exactly. It's like that saying, measure twice, cut once.
So thoughtful, but also agile.
That's the sweet spot. Now, thinking about all this, have you ever found yourself in a situation where you had to be really strategic?
Oh, all the time. Like just the other day, I was trying to, figure out a work project, and I realized I was like totally using Sun Tzu's ideas without even realizing it.
That's so cool how it just kind of seeps into your thinking.
Yeah, totally. But you know what really sticks with me?
What's that?
Sun Tzu saying the whole point of conflict is to, get to peace.
Like the ultimate goal, right?
Yeah, it's like, what's that saying?
Choose your battles.
Yes. Sometimes it's better to just, step back.
Totally agree.
Like, sometimes a compromise is better than, fighting forever.
And that's true in our own lives, too,
Right.
We don't have to argue about everything.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it's better to listen and try to, understand.
Find that common ground.
Yeah, so it all comes back to, Sun Tzu's main point.
What do you mean?
Not just winning, but winning in a way that lasts.
Oh, I see.
Like, achieving your goals without, destroying everything.
Minimizing the conflict.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, be smart about it.
Right. And that's something we can all learn from.
Oh, absolutely. Whether it's, global issues or just our daily lives.
It's timeless wisdom.
Totally. So as you go about your day, think about Sun Tzu.
Good advice.
Be strategic, be adaptable, and, look for those peaceful solutions.
I love that.
You might just be amazed at what you can achieve.